What's up, guys? I'm going to compare three popular Segway scooters to each other. Got the GT3, got the 9 Max G3, which is arguably the most popular one, and got the Segway ZT3 Pro. So we'll go over their specs. I have a tape measure. We'll measure a few things. I'm going to take it out, and then we'll do accelerations. I'll put them side by side, just like I did with the 9 Max G2 and the G30 versus the G3 right here. I'll make a similar test for this one. So we'll do acceleration side by side. We'll do up to top speed. We'll do a hill climb going at as fast as possible from a running start, I should say. And then we'll do a hill climb from a stop. We'll do a braking test. We'll do a descent. And I'll give you guys my overall opinion at the end. We'll start with the deck sizes. So the ZT3 Pro and the GT3 are more similar to each other, where you could put your foot back here, rest it over here, where the G3 ends over here. Measure it from the very beginning, where the stem starts. I won't curve it, I'll just go diagonally. With this one, we'll measure it from the stem to the edge of this. And then with the GT3, we'll measure it from the stem all the way to right around here. So for the widths, we have these angles that kind of fall. So I'll just try to measure it just from the top part, not from these inclined parts. So that's about 20 centimeters. With the G3 Max, it's about 19 centimeters, and with the GT3 it's about 18 centimeters, which is mostly just the grip tape. So just visually, we could see that the G3 and the ZT3 Pro are about the same height. The ZT3 Pro is a little bit taller from the handlebars, and the GT3 is basically taller than the rest of them. But what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to measure it from the deck itself, because that's where you're going to be standing, to the top of the grip, I should say, the handle itself. So it's about 106 centimeters for the ZT3 Pro, 104, 105, probably closer to 105 centimeters, a little over 107 centimeters, maybe 107.5 centimeters. Now we're going to measure ground clearance. It's about 15 centimeters for the ZT3 Pro. It's about 12 centimeters for the G3 Max, maybe a tad bit higher than 12. It's about 17 centimeters for the GT3. This is what they look like folded. So the Z3 Pro, you could actually lift up if it goes underneath that. The scooter is not light though. I mean, I could pick it up, but it's not light. So if you're looking for portability, not the best. This thing also connects, so you can actually also pick this one up. I think its sweet spot is here. This one it feels lighter than the ZT3 Pro, but also not super light. The GT3, nothing attaches, so you really can't lift it like this. And I wouldn't even want to lift it because it's very heavy. It's a lot heavier than these two, so the folding mechanism is more like, so you can put it somewhere and it takes less space. That's kind of how I see that. Where these two are more, you could lift it. And the G3 Max is the closest to being like, yeah, I feel like I could lift this. And but the ZT3 Pro is already pretty heavy as well. So, and because it's I don't know, I feel like it's a little bit wider. Anyways, you guys get it. And let's do a quick walk around. So the ZT3 Pro looks like it's more off-roady compared to the other two. You could tell from the tires, the tread on the tires look more off-roady compared to the other two. I also really like the fact that this lights up. And all three of these have dual suspension, but the G3 Max and the GT3 have hydraulic front and back. The ZT3 Pro is more basic suspension. But I'll jump on it so you guys could see. But overall, the scooter is pretty nice. Nice screen and everything, nice controls. You got the signal indicators. You could change the modes and stuff. So it looks pretty nice, generally speaking. And if you guys want to know more details, you can watch the individual videos for these. So the G3 Max has dual suspension. All of these have dual suspension. However, on the ZT3 Pro, it's not hydraulic. Whereas on the G3 Max and the GT3, it is hydraulic, front and back. So there's a benefit there. I like this for the grocery bags. This one and this one appear to be the same. It feels like it's plastic. It says max 5 kilograms. On the GT3, it doesn't say a number, but it feels like this is metal, so this is more beefy on the GT3. The screen and everything's pretty nice on the G3 Max. Again, if you guys want to see this in more detail, I show you guys the app. I go over the controls and everything in the individual videos, so make sure you guys check that out. And then the GT3 also looks more beefy. It's less off-roady beefy, but it's more like city beefy, if that makes sense. The screen's also pretty nice on this. The controls are similar to the GT2, if you guys know what that is. They don't have hydraulic disc brakes. All three of these have mechanical disc brakes, and that's what the rotors look like on the GT3. And on the G3 Max, that's what it looks like. The rotor's pretty thick. I don't know how thick the brakes are, but the rotor's pretty thick on it. But we'll do a brake test so you guys will see. And the same is true for the GT3. So again, we'll do a brake test to see which one actually brakes the fastest or the strongest. Time for the jump test. All right, let's see how well this one works. There it is. Okay, so that was the ZT3 Pro. Let's check the G3. There's literally a spider making a web on this, literally right now. That's crazy. Anyways, all right, let's do a jump test on the G3 Max. This is pretty soft. This one honestly feels softer than the ZT3 Pro, but you guys let me know what it looks like. Okay, and the GT3, let me tilt this a little more this sideways so you guys could get a better look. All right, let me move this a bit. Okay, all right, let's check the GT3. All right, let's go. They're all pretty smooth, honestly, but I think these two are a little bit smoother than the ZT3 Pro. So here are a series of tests, starting with acceleration. This is the only time boost mode was enabled, and the point of this was to see which scooter would get to the arrow on the ground first. There's an arrow above the bike path on the ground, and it was to see which one gets there fastest. Now, they're all kickstart, however, the Max G3 got there first, but there could be a little bit of human error as well, just because it's a kickstart. And then this is another one with boost mode off, and this is a little bit longer, and the reason for that is because the GT3 has the highest top speed, so obviously the longer it is, the more of an advantage the GT3 has. So wanted to show what the short test was, and also wanted to show a little bit of a longer run, and we could see that the GT3 actually finished first, with the G3 following, with the ZT3 Pro being last, which was no surprise because of their top speeds. And this is just another run just to show you guys how fast these things accelerate. So if you guys want to know how fast it goes to a certain mile an hour, you could pause the video and check it out over here. But it took a little over 10 seconds, almost 11 seconds, to get to top speed, 24 miles an hour, where the G3 Max is a little bit faster at 8 seconds, a little over 8 seconds. By the way, the last number is number of frames. There's almost 30 frames. So once that gets to basically, before it gets to 30, it's going to go to the next number. And then we did the GT3, and the GT3 seemed like the 24 miles an hour was almost tied with the G3 Max. It was a little bit faster to 28, and 28 to 31 just takes a little bit longer. And that's kind of like the slowest acceleration when it's getting to its top speed. Now for a little bit of off-roading, the ZT3 Pro here was the clear winner because it had the best traction. Now all the scooters were nice and soft, but because of the tires, the ZT3 Pro definitely took the cake here. Definitely took the cake here. Even though they were all soft, very good, but in terms of traction, ZT3 Pro hands down with those tires. This was a braking test as close to 18 miles an hour as possible, and they all feel kind of similar, with the GT3 feeling the best, but it does appear that the ZT3 Pro is the worst, then it's the Max G3, and it looks like GT3 actually stops the fastest. And then this is where the surprises started being very, very obvious. And it actually caught me by surprise when I was editing this thing. I was looking at this and I couldn't believe it. So they're all starting off. This is a full run where we're starting off as fast as we possibly can. Doesn't mean they're going top speed, but we're trying to go as fast as we possibly can to get to the top of the hill. And basically, the Max G3 is actually ahead. And this just surprised me so much. I honestly thought the GT3 was going to win, but nope. To my surprise, the Max G3 actually got there first. And this is the top, got there a little over 43 seconds. 3 seconds later, the GT3 gets there, and another 2 seconds after that, the ZT3 Pro starts. So then, it's like now we do a standstill on another hill where we start at 0 miles an hour. And we can actually see here that they're all doing fairly fine. I mean, this is not a super hill. The super hill is coming up next, but this is still a pretty hard hill. And starting from 0 miles an hour, so you're not coming in with any speed. And the ZT3 Pro surprised me here because the ZT3 Pro was taking the lead and it actually finished first. Now, not too far ahead from the other two, but the fact that the GT3 finished last was very, very surprising. And this was the super hill. This hill I leave just for the most powerful of the scooters that they've almost easily passed the other hills. That's the only time I bring them to this hill. And this was from a stop as well. So not coming into this thing with speed. And basically at this point, the GT3 feels like it's going to win because it doesn't need to zigzag just yet, where the other two are zigzagging up. And the ZT3 Pro is ahead. But the GT3, once it gets to this point, it feels like, I don't know if the motor got hot. I mean, it's still working, but it kind of lost a little bit more power and then needed to zigzag, just like with the others zigzagging even before that. In my opinion, I was thinking the GT3 was going to win just because it was going straight the most without zigzagging. But to my surprise, the ZT3 Pro came and passed it. And so did the Max G3. They both passed it. And I guess I was more surprised than anything else. And the reason for that is because the Max G3 has a 2000 watt motor and it feels a lot lighter than the GT3. So then I started thinking like, okay, well, I guess that makes sense. The GT3 doesn't have a lot more power. But yeah, the ZT3 Pro with the least amount of power, a peak power of 1600 watts, actually finished first. And followed by the Max G3, not too far behind. I mean, I guess it is kind of far behind. Depending on how you're counting it, it's about 14 seconds behind. And the GT3 is still coming. So it was, I was very, very, very surprised. I genuinely thought the GT3 would take first place here. And instead it actually took last place. And this is just to show you guys how high of a hill this was. So turning around, this is like legit a super hill. Most of the budget scooters wouldn't even attempt it here. I doubt they would make it. But took these, they all made it, but the ZT3 Pro definitely took the cake here. So now let's summarize. The ZT3 Pro has the strongest regen brakes. Yes, they were all adjusted in the Segway app, and the ZT3 Pro does have the strongest regen brakes. Not the strongest brakes, but the regen. And the best for off-roading, very strong pulling power, even though it's the least powerful of the motors. But it has the least amount of range and the least top speed. Granted, the range and the top speed are still pretty good, but just as a heads up as a comparison. Then you got the Segway Max G3, which I feel like is the most well-rounded, very good ride because of its suspension. It's very portable. I mean, there are more portable scooters, but in this bunch, it's definitely the most portable of the bunch. Very good top speed, very good acceleration, and just overall, just a pleasure to ride. Then you have the GT3, which is the most stable at high speeds. It doesn't really show, but it is the most stable. It's because it's the heaviest. It has the widest handlebar. It also has the best brakes. It also feels the most premium, even though they all feel premium. But this one does feel a bit better than the other two. And it has the highest top speed and technically the most range as well. But Not quite as fast on some of the uphills as you guys saw, unlike some of the other scooters. So let me know what you guys think in the comment sections below. Which scooter is right for you? I think it really comes down to personal preference. If you're doing a lot of off-roading, ZT3 Pro hands down. If you just want an overall good scooter, I think the Max G3 is really good for that. And if you just want something with the highest top speed, with the most range, that feels the most stable at highest top speeds, that's the GT3. Let me know what you guys think in the comment sections below. And as always, smash that subscribe button, like the video, and I have way more videos coming up. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.